All right, this is chapter 1, lesson 7. So this is the last lesson in chapter 1 for Slytherins on ratio and rate problems. Okay. So the first thing I want to look at is solve ratio problems. Okay. So you can use bar diagrams or equations with equivalent ratios to solve ratio and rate problems. So let's look at some examples of this, okay? So the first one I have, there's two methods, okay? We're gonna look at the first method first. So Heritage Middle School has 150 students. 2 out of 3 students in Mrs. Mason's class prefer gel toothpaste. Use this ratio to predict how many students in the entire middle school prefer gel toothpaste. Okay, so the first thing I want to know, 150 students, that's the total number of students. The ratio they gave me was 2 out of 3, so 2 to 3, okay? So the first method I'm going to use is a bar diagram. So here's my bar diagram, right? So step 1, I draw a bar diagram. So I did that. Here's my bar, okay? So this is 150 students on top, okay? Now it says 2 out of 3, so I can break it into 3 sections. 1, 2, 3. 2 preferred gel, 1 did not. So 2 out of 3. So determine how many students are in each section. So there's 3 sections, 150 divided by 3 is what gives me 50. So that tells me how many students are in each section. Okay, so we could guess that approximately 100 students would prefer gel toothpaste out of the entire middle school. All right, the second method that you can use is to use equivalent fractions. So I write an equivalent ratio. So likes gel, 2 out of the total, 3. I know the total of students, 150. Okay, so now I can figure out 3 times what gives me 150? Well, 3 times 50 gives me 150. So whatever I do to the bottom, because I'm creating an equivalent fraction, I multiply by the top, the numerator. 2 times 50 gives me 100. So 100 students would prefer gel toothpaste. Okay, you can use either method 1 or method 2, whichever is easier for you. All right, so let's look at the next section. It says solving rate problems, okay? You can use double number lines or equations to solve rate problems, okay? So I have the Millers drove 105 miles on 4 gallons of gas. 105 miles, 4 gallons, okay? At this rate, how many miles can they drive on 6 gallons? So 6 is pink because gallons keep the same colors. Okay, so 6 gallons of gas. Draw a double number line. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I want to find the unit rate. 105 divided by 4 equals 26.25. Okay, then I want to multiply. 26.25 times 6 gives me 157.5. Okay, so I can look at my number line right here. So it says 0, 0. So if I didn't go anywhere, I didn't use any gallons, right? My unit rate, 1. So that's 1 gallon. Okay, I don't know how many miles. I found that up here, 26.25. That goes in my first box, 26.25. Okay. Then I knew 4 and 105, right? Because that's what they gave me in my problem up here. Okay, and then so for 6, because I multiplied the unit rate by 6, so it's 6, they used 157.5. All right, there are 2 try-it problems, so go ahead, try those out on your own. Go ahead, pause the video. When you are done trying them, come back and we will work on them together. All right, so the first problem is, in a survey, 4 out of 5 So 4 out of 5 people preferred creamy over chunky peanut butter. There are 120 people shopping at the grocery store. Use the survey to predict how many people in the store would prefer creamy peanut butter. Okay, so you can either use the bar diagram or you can use equivalent fractions. I'm going to show you the equivalent fraction way. Okay. All right, so 4 out of 5, right? So 4 out of 5, 4 people. So this is the 4, they preferred creamy. And this is my total, right? So this equals something, some value, what I don't know, over 120, because that's the total people that shopped at the grocery store. So I want to figure out 5 times what gives me 120. Okay, so I can do that by dividing. Okay. 5 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 5 gives me 10. I have 2 left over. I bring down my 0. 5 goes into 20 4 times. Okay, I have nothing left over. So this tells me 5 times 24 gives me 120. So then I have to figure out 4 times 24. So I'm going to go ahead and do my multiplication. Over here, 24 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so 96. So my question mark equals 96. So about 96 people prefer creamy peanut butter to chunky, if I use those survey results. So 96 people. Okay. All right, letter B says there are 810 calories in 3 scoops of vanilla ice cream. 810 calories in 3 scoops. How many calories are in 7 scoops of ice cream? Okay, so we can either set it up as an equation or we can use it as a double number line. I'm going to show you how to do it as the equation. Okay, so I'm coming back over here. All right, so I have 810, okay, and I'm going to divide that by 3 to figure out what my unit rate is, right? So, go ahead and divide. 3 goes in 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2, and I bring down my 1. 3 goes into 21 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21, which is 0, and I bring down my 0. 3 goes into 0 times. So I'm left with 0 for my remainder, so I get 270. So 810 divided by 3 is 270. Okay. But I want to know how, so that's in 1. That's how many calories in 1 scoop. Okay. I want to know how many are in 7 scoops. So I take 270, I'm going to multiply that times 7. Okay, so 270 times 7. 7 times 0 gives me 0. 7 times 7 is 49. I carry the 4. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 4. 15, 16, 17, 18. 180. Okay. So 1,890, which is my final answer. Okay. So come over here. 1,890 calories in 7 scoops of ice cream. And that is the end of lesson 7.